Jrue Holiday is going to be a massive upgrade for Boston at the point guard position. In this video, I want to do a deep dive on Holiday's film to see what currently makes him one of the NBA's best two-way players, and also go over how his game is going to fit with the Celtics' current roster. So we'll start off by looking at Holiday's offense, and the foundation of that all lies with Jrue's ability to attack the basket. For point guards, Holiday is one of the most efficient rim finishers across the league, shooting over 60% around the basket. And to put that in perspective, that was higher than Anthony Edwards and Ja Morant last year, while also being just slightly under Kyrie Irving. So for Jrue, he's not the most explosive or flashy finisher, but he is an extremely physical driver.
Terry's on him, good defender. Holiday strong in there. Holiday scores and one.
When Jrue puts the ball down, he's elite at both initiating and absorbing contact. Watch how Holiday here gets the defense to open up by just simply attacking into and through their chest. Now right here, he's matched up against Dort, who's easily one of the most physical perimeter defenders in the league. And notice how Jrue just simply lowers his shoulder and bullies him back like he's a JV player. Now on top of that strength, Jrue is also great at using his body to create finishing windows around the basket. Notice here how he puts his inside shoulder into the shot blocker's chest to create an outside window towards his left for the layup. Now on this play, you'll see Jrue engage this defender's body after he's lifted up in the air, and Jrue is still able to muscle up a finish on the way down. So the next thing I want to go over is Holiday's body control, because it is pretty crazy how Jrue is always able to maintain his balance while getting into these difficult finishes. You'll see Jrue here turn the corner off the screen, and notice how he gets to this high pickup, which helps him both protect the ball and draw fouls. But it takes a ton of strength to be able to manipulate the ball like this, while also keeping your driving line and balance into your finish. This play here is tough, where Holiday again attacks downhill and gets to this high pickup. And from this spot, Jrue still has the stability to step through Mobley's contact and get this left-hand layup. So the next thing we have to go over is Jrue's ball handling, because this is probably Holiday's most underrated skill set. Now I wouldn't say Jrue has the shiftiest or flashiest handle, but he is really good at setting up angles and playing with pace. Now because Holiday always has his strength in his back pocket, he only needs to use his handle to set up attacking angles, so he can then lean on his physical tools. You'll see Jrue here get to a relaxed right to left between, then hit a punchy in and out. And notice how he shifts Jrue just slightly out of his frame. And from here, Holiday can just use his physicality to drive into this tight gap. But after he gathers, notice how his first step with his left is forward, but then he veers back into the defense with his next step, and he squeezes through for a finish. Now off the bounce, I wouldn't say Jrue has that next level explosiveness, but he does have a pretty good first step. Watch him here hit a delay between blow by, where he casually brings the ball through his legs, but as soon as the rock transfers through, Holiday drops his level and darts downhill. Now on this play, you'll see him going up against a mismatch, and notice how Jrue just slightly slows down and puts his eyes up, which gets his man to completely open up his stance. So in response, Holiday's going to pound the ball and plant his outside foot, to then attack the defense's top foot with a crossover, and he's able to sneak the ball through with an inside hand finish. This is my favorite play of the video. Watch Holiday here turn the corner off the screen, and notice how he has one defender on his hip, as well as this big who's rotating back down in the paint. So in response, Holiday is going to hit the brakes by planting his outside foot and pounding the ball. Then he's going to float back as if he's separating for a shot, and this freezes both defenders, allowing Jrue to re-attack downhill.
Screen gets inside for the finish.
Now another really underrated part of Holiday's game is his touch. When Jrue's going up against length, he loves to use these floaters and runners from around 8 to 10 feet, and he can put these up from a variety of angles while using both his right and left hand. You'll see Jrue here playing in semi-transition, and watch him get to a left to right crossover, then hit a low pickup to slice through this help defender. And as Holiday's momentum is heavily drifting towards his right, he brings the ball back across his frame and puts up a buttery soft left hand floater. Now on this play, you'll see him going at Sabonis and drop, and Holiday is going to attack his top foot by getting to this high pickup back across the middle, and from here Jrue's momentum is now being pulled towards his left, but he's again able to bring the ball back across his frame and now put up a soft floater with his right hand. So Jrue's ability to be both a physical bully driver while also having his floater game always in his back pocket makes him a really versatile paint scorer, and Holiday is great at leveraging his downhill scoring to then create looks in the mid-range. So last year, Holiday shot over 55% on all his jump shots from 17 feet and under, and percentage-wise, that puts Jrue in a truly elite category across the league. Now we went over how good Jrue is at using his strength to get to spots, but it's also important to notice how in control he always is. While Jrue's attacking, he never lets the defense speed him up, always playing at his own pace and searching for windows to score. And this patient, methodical style opens up his short pull-up game.
Are you surprised?
One thing Jrue loves to do to set up these shots is get to a simple 2-foot stop, which allows him to keep his base and use different pivots and shot fakes to set up these looks. Now because Jrue has all that strength and a low center of gravity, he can set up these shots against much bigger defenders. You'll see Jrue here going up against the center, and notice as Holiday attacks, how he lowers his shoulder to initiate contact. Then he comes to a 2-foot stop and gives a shot fake, which gets the defense just slightly out of position, giving Jrue a window to rise up. So in general, Holiday has the reputation of being an aggressive attacking point guard, and because of that, most teams commonly give Jrue a ton of space off the dribble, which allows him to easily walk defenders down and get into these rhythm step back jumpers. And Jrue also gets a ton of space out of pick and roll. A vast majority of defenses like to play drop coverage against him, and Holiday is pretty good at navigating around screens and finding open spots on the floor to rise up. But going into next year, I don't see Jrue taking a lot of these mid-range pull-ups in Coach Joe Mazzulla's offense, and I think next year Holiday's 3-point shooting is going to be vital for Boston. So Jrue last year was a really accurate 3-point shooter, shooting over 38% from behind the line, as well as a blazing 44% on all his jumpers off the catch. Now 3-point shooting was obviously a big staple of the Celtics offense last year, and Jrue's going to for sure get plenty of open catch and shoot threes, playing alongside aggressive attacking wings like Tatum and Brown.
Connaughton, the extra pass, Holiday left open, that's good.
Now Holiday also has the ability to knock down threes off the dribble, and again, because teams give Jrue so much respect as a downhill driver, he commonly gets a ton of space out of pick and roll and isolations, and Jrue's got the ability to punish teams who play him softly. You'll see Holiday set up this screen here by going behind, then reverse pivoting his left foot down, which allows Giannis to flip and reset the screen. And when RJ Barrett tries to cheat under, Holiday just simply stops and elevates up for a 3. One of Jrue's favorite separation moves is this little step back to create extra space. He loves to bring the ball below the 3 to put his man on his heels, and then he switches gears and hops back to separate for a pull-up. Now Holiday doesn't cover a ton of ground on this move, but because the defense gives Jrue such a big cushion off the dribble, he only needs a little extra space to get his shot off.
Step back 3 by Holiday, and he laces it.
Now so far we've gone over that Jrue's a pretty effective 3-level scorer, but the Celtics roster right now already has plenty of bucket getters, and for Holiday, Boston is going to need him to be much more than just a scorer. Now as an overall playmaker, I wouldn't put Jrue in the elite class of NBA passers, but Holiday is really good at just making the simple plays. Being willing to give up the ball early in transition, make the extra pass, and just make the right reads out of pick and roll.
Want to go at him, and he's been up to the challenge.
Lopez just lays it in.
You'll see him come off this handoff and draw 2 towards the ball, and he makes the easy swing pass for a 3. You'll see him make a similar read on this play, where he again pulls 2 towards the ball, but now he makes this one-hand hook pass to set up another catch and shoot 3. Now Jrue's ability to put pressure on the rim also opens up plenty of passing opportunities. And because Boston is going to have the floor spread out with shooters, Holiday is going to be able to play downhill with an open paint, which will lead to either layups or kick out threes to shooters. And because Holiday is going to be on the floor with both Tatum and Brown, Jrue's going to most likely be matched up with undersized backcourt players, which would most likely be a mismatch that Jrue could attack. Like on this play, you'll see how Holiday's being guarded by Tyrese Maxey, and Milwaukee has the floor spread out with shooters. From this spot, the 76ers have to pick their poison. They can either leave Maxey on an island, which would lead to an easy 2 points for Holiday, or they can send extra help, which then opens up the kickout 3. So obviously, Jrue is a pretty complete and versatile offensive player, but what's scary is that we haven't even gone over the best part of Holiday's game. So defensively, Jrue has a unique combination of foot speed and physicality, which allows him to be a Swiss Army knife on the defensive end, being able to pick up and disrupt guards well beyond the 3, while also having the strength to hold his own in the mid to low post.
Defender and Holiday on him. James falling away. Won't go.
Now I think Jrue does his best work defending on the perimeter, where again he has the mobility to slide and keep the ball in front, while having the stability to wall off physical drives. You'll see him matched up with Kawhi here one-on-one, and notice how Leonard lowers his shoulder to create some separation, then he attacks into the middle. But watch how Holiday is able to both absorb the contact and slide to stay in front. Then from here he's able to time Kawhi's shot and give a great contest. Now here he's defending Jimmy Butler on an island, and watch how Jrue is again able to absorb the contact and get Butler into a difficult fadeaway. So on top of Holiday's ability to be a rock and body up drives, he's also really quick laterally, which allows him to both contain the ball and recover when he's at a disadvantage. You'll see Jimmy Butler here set this ghost screen for Hero, where he just simply runs up as if he's going to set a pick, but then slips out of it. And this causes Jrue to just slightly lift out of his stance, giving Tyler the outside driving angle. But from here, notice how quickly Jrue gets back in front of the ball to force another tough 2. Now another thing Holiday is really good at is navigating through and around screens. Because Jrue makes ball handlers so uncomfortable, they have a hard time effectively setting him up for screens, which allows Jrue to find small pockets to stay attached and make the pick pretty much useless. You'll see Gabe Vincent here about to come off this BAM screen, and watch how Jrue scoots up and wedges himself between Gabe and the pick, and this allows him to stay attached to Vincent as he comes off and keep him out of the paint. So overall, I think Jrue Holiday takes the Celtics to a completely different level, being able to provide offense with the ball while also being an initiator that Tatum and Brown can play through. And I also think Jrue and Derek White together will easily be the best defensive backcourt in the league. If you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments who the kids should break down next. The kids here.